What is up everyone, and welcome back to another exclusive video for Novos. Today we are going to be running through all the meta duo splits of the season. So let's go through my top 5 pro duo splits for the chapter 3. Let's go. Split number 1 is where Cammy and Teak or Paco are landing this season. Now we know Cammy had a very good split last season, so he definitely knows what to look out in comparison to the other pro players. Now this split has a decent amount of chests. If we take a look at the overlay here, we have a total of 14 chests in total, as well as multiple fishing spots and a decent amount of floor spawns. Now what makes this split very good is because you have that gas station, which gets you a lot of metal. Now metal is very scarce in this season. You don't see too many spots with a lot of metal, so finding a good split which is away from a POI that has a decent amount of metal is very tough to find, and this one definitely exemplifies that. It's a very quick split to loot as well, and the gas station gives you the ability to get a car with big wheels, so that is all check marks in terms of the meta for the season, which makes it a very good spot. Now the second spot I want to talk about is known as the Pinq Hill, referred to as pro player Pinq in EU. Now this spot doesn't have that many chests in comparison to some of the other ones we've seen. It only has a total of about 13 to 14, depending on how much you take in that split. However, this spot has one very vital thing, and that is a guaranteed llama as well as an AI, which gives you a blue pump and a blue AR as well, guaranteed every single game. Now, having a guaranteed llama every single game means that you are guaranteed splashes, you are guaranteed max mats, and that gives you a very good solution to the metal issue on the map. It is decently central compared to everything else. You have a nice little mountain spot there for Surge also, and a lot of brick and wood, which gives you quick mats compared to some of the other spots. The only issue I have with the split is that it's very tough to sort of land it in a cash cup situation. For an FCS custom lobby format, this is perfect because you have the whole split to yourself, but in a cash cup situation, it's very tough to think about where you want to land, because you don't want to land on the llama, and if you don't land on the llama, then someone else might land on the llama, and then the majority of your split is gone. So it's very tough to figure out those sort of things, but in terms of a draw spot for the season, it is very strong with the guaranteed llama, so definitely one of my recommendations for this season. The third split I want to talk about is close to a POI, but not fully within the POI. Now this is to the right of Chonker Speedway. There is a decent amount of chests here, but that is not why you are landing here. You are landing here for the cooler boxes. Now for those of you unaware, every single cooler box gives you the chance of 3 different items. You either get 2 chug splashes or 4 chug splashes, or you get the guzzle juice. Now if you hear that correctly, yes, there is a ton of these coolers all around this draw spot. So you're going to be coming out with either 10 or 16 chug splashes per game in total. Now in duos, that is absolutely absurd, and that makes the spot very good. Now the spot does have a lack of metal, but it is decent because you're right next to Chonker. So what you could do is you loot your spot, you play in Storm for a little bit, and then you farm the metal in Storm. Now this is a good strategy for cash cups, for example. You could implement this and come out with a ton of metal and a decent amount of chug splashes as well. This is a very low-key spot, so if you don't want to land on the main buildings of Chonkers, will be very contested, you can land towards the right side and then disengage and then find a different split to your north and loot and scavenge loot somewhere else. Now this is one of the best spots on the map, and if you're going to be landing anywhere, then this is the place to be because of those cooler boxes. They're just ridiculously overpowered. Now the fourth spot I want to talk about is just due to the sheer amount of ridiculous chests that are in this spot. I think there's over 30 chests in this top spot in total, which is very low key because you don't really expect it from an edge draw spot away from a POI like this. I believe it even has more spots than Sunny Steps, for example. So if you take a look at the split here, you can see you have 8 chests on the main building, and then you have about 13 in the entire island towards the right side. But if you go even further to the left, there's another 11 chests on the main spot near there. So there's a ton of chests over here. Now the issue with this spot, obviously, again, is the lack of metal. But if you're looking at pure loot, this is a decent spot that you can vote into, that you can land on, and then rotate into a metal place where you want to farm over there. Now this spot, alongside its massive amount of chests, it also has a decent amount of floor spawns. And this is very good as well because you're going to be able to get and collect a ton of launch pads in as well. So that makes the spot definitely one of the best that I've seen so far. just have to figure out where you can rotate into your metal. Now you can get your metal to your left if you take more of the split, or you could rotate southwards towards the vault areas, and there is some metal spots there to farm as well. Now the fifth and final spot is one that I think is really good, but again there is an issue with metal, and you're not going to find too many splits this season with metal, but there are a lot of metal spawns nearby this draw spot. Now the reason why the spot is good is because there is an insane amount of non-boxes here, very akin to a caddy corner of last season, for example. Now in this spot there's a total of 15 chests in total in a very small area. You have a decent amount of metal on the left side of it in the butter barn, but the gas station itself I believe is bugged because it's meant to be metal but it gives you brick, which is really annoying. You also to the south have a fishing spot which gives you 3 to 4 fishing spots to get you guaranteed floppers and shieldfish, and there's also a ton of slurp bells in this spot, so you're able to recoup your shield. And also from the non-boxes, of course, you're gonna get mushrooms and coconuts, which give you extra shield as well. So this spot is very efficient. You get a ton of peppers and shield guaranteed, and makes it one of the best, I think, low-key spots of the season because not many people know about it. So this is definitely one of the spots to look out for this season. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something, then make sure you guys check out other content like this one on our knowledge time in novos.gg. Hopefully these splits help you get some inspiration on what you need to be looking for in this season, and maybe you even drop there as well. Have yourself a good one, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.